Let's start with some budget positives, in my opinion, humble opinion. You're the professional here. Tell us, the average residential impact for the city portion of the tax levy is estimated at just $29 per 100,000 of the assessment. In your professional opinion, is that good? Is that fair?
Yes, you know, it's a little bit above inflation perhaps, but usually when you combine it with the county levy and the education levy overall, it usually matches the rate of inflation. And so if you want to keep your assets in your city going, you have to at least get to that rate to keep things rolling along.
Let's talk about the new proposed police building. So another neutral item for some people. On the one hand, you know, I was removed from the budget, so as we talked about before, so that the tax rate could be significantly lowered. But on the other hand, they're suggesting now for a different approach. So we're asking for $25 million to do the project in phases. So in your professional opinion, is it better to do the project in phases or just, you know, doing it right away? It's tough to say, but I mean, what would you say?
Yeah, it is. You know, the first thing you have to try to convince me, and maybe I'm one of the skeptics, that do we really need to spend $90 million, whatever, on a new facility? And I'm having a hard time digesting that. The building we have is you know, from 1987, but that's not that old really. When you think about buildings, the City Hall was built, I think, in 1962, and it's perfectly functional. There are certainly things that need to be done, and because, you know, there are some deficiencies that they want to get around, and they have been renting some facilities out at Lambton Mall and things like that. Mm-hmm. So that has not turned out as well as we thought. It was very efficient initially, but the prices have gone up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So there are certainly things that need to be addressed, but I am yet to be convinced that we need a whole new building, and then we need it where they want it, which is up near the highway, far from where anybody can walk to it. Right now it's on Christina Street, so it's very accessible for a lot of people. You know, even myself, I had to go there a couple of years ago when one of our cars it was parked and somebody ran into it, so we had to take it there to get evaluated. So, right, you know, that's handy where it is, and people use it regularly. If it's out someplace else, it's not as accessible to the citizens.
Fair enough. Now let's talk about the deficit, which I mentioned at the beginning of the show here. So the budget document mentioned an $8.2 million one-time adjustment for transfers from reserve to help us mitigate the tax increase. Now, I know we did this last year too, but in your 24 years here, and then I don't know how many years you've even been an accountant, so tack that on. How difficult is that going to become for us down the road if we keep doing that?
Yeah, like that's suicidal almost, in the sense that you really do have to balance your budget each year. Each year has to look after itself, and it's been a couple of years now. Everything got really messed up during COVID, to be honest with you, and we really haven't seemed to get back on track. We've done some, you know, but our operating expenses and all that seem to get out of whack at that point, and we haven't tied that down like we should have, really. We need to get a better handle on that. Some of it is luck. For example, traditionally, when you do various projects, you know, and you have some monies invested in the bank, one year you'll get better interest rates, even though but you may have an overrun on a construction project. But you hope all these little various things that the city is involved in, the ups offset the downs. But for some reason this particular year, you know, things hit hard. The interest rates dropped on monies we have invested. Then we got serious things happened in both our major arenas that caused big costs that we weren't expecting. So things like that, hopefully they try to offset each year, but once in a while you end up with a situation where you just get too many elbows in the face and you just have to take your lumps.